Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Throne of Night, once again on the Refuge. I am over here in my land, over next to my house. You can see the bottom of it with the supports that I put underneath. Here, I can fly because I'm not doing anything on my actual survival stuff right now. There's my magical floaty sand of glory. But I am over here where I'm going to be having the road dump out into the where the docks and the piers and all that stuff are going to be, because I have an idea. I was going to have my savannah city, my jungle city, my desert city, my underground dwarven city, and a sky city. And I may still yet have a sky city, but I don't want to focus on the sky city. I want instead to do something I've not actually done before, but I've wanted to do because I've never really had the resources to be able to do this in survival. And so now I can. And what that is I want to make a city under the water. But it's not just going to be any old city, it's going to be a an actual under the water full blown city. So what I want to do, come over here. Hello. It must be nighttime. What I want to do is under the water here, I want to, well, I'm going to be leaving water on the top. Then I'm going to have barrier blocks under it, so it looks like that there's still water. I don't know if that'll change the visibility or not, but then what I want to do is everything under the water, I want to have airspace. And it's going to be just this huge bay of buildable space. I don't have to worry about drowning or anything like that, or people drowning when they visit. It's going to be just an underwater city. And I come over to my map here. Whoa, a little bit of rewind there. The bay is right here, and this is one of the areas that I proclaimed as mine for when I came over here. It's this bit of desert, this savanna, obviously the rest of the desert there, this bit of desert, and this jungle. That's it. That's all I want to have, just for me, is just this stuff. So now that I know that Rank has set up shop there, I'm kind of panicking and wanting to set this area up in advance so that if anyone else does wander out this way, they go, oh, clearly this is being worked on by someone else, so let's leave this area alone. And I'm also going to be setting up walls. Like for the desert, I don't know how to make the desert look different. I want to kind of keep it the desert that it is without modifying it too much. Because I'm not going to do like a biome overhaul, I don't think, like I did with this. The desert is fine as is. It's a desert. But I do want to at least get the areas marked out. So what I'm going to do is turn this area into like airspace that I can build under the water. And then I'll have a connection going from there out to the sea so you can access the water that way. Let's see here. I might, who knows? I might just make, oh, I don't know, maybe this area here where the public Atlantis is going to be with all the activities and things, because I don't want that to be as small as this. Because this is, when it all comes down to it, this really isn't all that large of an area. This is not much bigger than my savannah, and that's not really all that big. It's definitely not big for activities. So I want to have a place where there's a large amount of ocean, and this counts because it goes a good distance this way. It's not on the map. And then have the ability to connect to it by my area so that people can warp to instead of warping to me to get to it, they can warp to it, and if they want, they can come visit my area. So that's sort of the plan. But what I want to do is make it workable and able to have stuff going on so that when people visit, they don't have to have glowing on their helmets and water breathing potions and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to be you walk under the water and then there's this magical underwater area. So, what I am going to do is get started on that and show you hopefully the end result of it, because I want to kind of do the whole emptying in one fell swoop. Whoa, my mouse went crazy. In one fell swoop. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I'll be back. But before I do, there is one small thing that I wanted to show you. White Cat has been learning the ropes with the world edit commands, and she has been doing an entrance to that one underwater project. Speaking of underwater projects that she's been working on, let me go slash back. Woo-ha. This is her ocean over here, and obviously this is the template that I had mentioned, I think, maybe, that is going to be used to make the walls look nicer and all that kind of stuff. But this is her access point. This road right here connects to her mansion and her castle and all that kind of stuff. Or I think her mansion's over here. And then she wants this to be the access point to go down into her underwater area. And so she's done this. On her own, this is just her work, and it looks stupendous. I am really digging it. Digging. She's even got the cobwebs, and she's got an assortment of ores and things. And obviously, if someone comes in here and tries to ruin the fun by going, "Ooh, look at all the ores," and tries to dig them, then they know that they're not supposed to be doing that. And, oh, there she is. Busily working. But, oh, also, other news, there's now core protect on here so we can see who breaks what when. But let's go down these stairs. She hasn't done the lamps all the way down, so I apologize for the darkness. Hopefully my little personal bubble of light will illuminate enough so that this isn't terrible. But there's mushrooms and cobwebs down there. And then it just goes straight into her underwater area, which is hard to see. But this is what she's got going on. So there's two large underwater projects going on right now. Yay! One, you actually are under the water, and two, you're going to be below the water. So it's under the water, but not in it. And they're going to be two separate things. But I need to get back to my area, get to work on putting in the barriers and clearing out the excess water. Lick. And then I will show you an update of what that looks like. I might do a small area and then get to work on doing the whole thing. So I'll be back. Alrighty, I have managed to actually get this to work. I've tested it in an area actually a little bit larger than this little inlet here, whatever you want to call it, bay, mini bay, harbor, whatever. I've gotten it to work. Everything is just perfectly fine. But while I was over here, I was trying to figure out where I wanted the entrance to actually go down to the under the water on the near bedrock area. I wanted to know where the entrance was going to be, so I put this in, and it's sort of a diagonal thing. I was experimenting with this, and here we go. This is what it looks like. There's going to be the water dripping effects. You can see that there's barrier blocks. If you look carefully, you can see an outline. There's barrier blocks with water up above. 2 layers of water, as a matter of fact. But on top of the water dripping particles, there's also going to be, let me just stare at this enough, you can see the mycelium particles. Those little spores popping up and drifting for a second and then vanishing. So I want it to sort of be like underwater bubbles. And these drips are also going to be additional particles under the water, although obviously as they're falling, you know they're coming from above, but the splashes look like they're the water happening down here. But I was looking for the right angle in order to come down to attach to it so that it would flow nicely, and I decided this isn't going to be a good spot. Instead, the start point needs to be somewhere here, and I need to, instead of have a one-to-one slope, I need to kind of angle it out. So I need to draw it back a little bit. So this is a good enough spot. Anyway, while I was over here, because this is a good angle to approach that area over there, I noticed a sign. I put the yellow, or the wet sponge there, but the sign, sorry, the kitty went here. I've confirmed it was not White Cat who did this. I have no idea who put this here. No clue. So, that's just going to stay there. And it obviously happened before I put Core Protect on. So, I don't, I'm confused. But it's funny, so it's staying. But that's where the entrance is going to be. Hopefully, I won't have to worry about besmirching the sign by digging under it, because it's very close to the start point that I kind of need to hit there. So I'll try to tailor it so it doesn't actually affect it, but at a certain slope it's going to come down there, and I'm afraid that it might interfere with the sign, so I'm going to have to do like a block change. Maybe, oh, I could just change that one block. I could change it to something that isn't going to fall. We'll see. But as you can see, my concept works. It still looks like it's water. Oh, I mean, obviously it's water, but it still looks like it's water all the way down. But once you come down, you can see that it's not. And as you can see, there's lots of particles going on down here. It's also very dark. It's still completely dark under here, and so now things are probably going to spawn a lot. But I can just get some light down here and stuff. But the floor is going to be mycelium in the long run. But first, before I get to that point where I'm putting in the mycelium, I need to actually clear the area out. So I'm just going to nose to the grindstone this and do the whole area as far as I need to, and then just go from there. So I'll be back. So remember how I said lots of things are probably going to be spawning down here? Man, was I right. Oh, man, you guys have really fast legs. This is just an armada of badness. So I'm gonna have to get some lighting down here. But this also means that if I really wanted to, I could come down here and start working on trying to get my zombie skull, because I still need that for the Refugee to Regent for my wood stage. No. But I just wanted you to see all this. I came back here and noticed a bunch of dudes, and wanted you to see all the bad guys. So there we go. Lots and lots and lots and lots of spawning. Where are you going? Anyway, back to work. Well, the entire ocean floor has been converted, well, the entire ocean has been converted into this sort of viewing room, and I'm just sitting here looking at the water drips coming from the ceiling and looking at the jungle thinking, hey look, it's a rainforest. Only it's not. But the whole place is done and it looks fantastic. But I am specifically facing this way because I want to show you something I haven't planned. Because I want it to go near to bedrock. So it's going to be like 2 layers of bedrock and then a layer of mycelium, or maybe hills of mycelium and stuff like that. And that'll be the base. It's going to be really close to the void. So I want the walls to be sort of stepped down, but I haven't decided with this thing that I've been tinkering around with. I haven't decided if I want to smooth it or if I want to keep it in terraces and like maybe have the middle terrace be decorated somehow. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Uh, keep looking at the wall and then come back here. Oh, hello. There we go. There's terrace 1, terrace 2, and terrace 3. I know they're probably hard to see. Hold on. Boop. There we go. Yay, you can see now. I just realized it was really dark. But we've got the normal slope there. And anyone could probably just dig in from the shore and just come in under. I'm not going to be walling all this off with barrier. That would be annoying for me and for everyone. So it's going to be just as you see there, and then a drop, and then there's going to be the next terrace, and then this is what I was thinking of having this terrace be the decorated one, like maybe have the appearance of buildings in sets. That way it looks like there's just this huge surrounding city or something. And then the final larger terrace drop all the way down to where, as you can see, there's some bedrock. And this will give me a lot of space to work with. And hopefully, if I can come up with a plan for that second one, it will fit. But one of the other things that I'm going to need to do is I do want to add a little bit of uniformity to the walls of the city. So, or the valley, harbor, whatever, the terrain. I don't want it to be full of patches of ores and dirt. I mean, that looks Minecraft natural, but it doesn't feel right for what I want the area to look like. So I'm going to have to find out what I want to do. I might keep the top of it. The top might be just all of this smattering of stuff and the caves and all that kind of stuff. But I want the second one to be sort of what's the term? It's developed. There's the word, developed. I want it to be developed, like you buy land and you develop it. And then this lower, largest distance here, I want it to be more uniform or decorated, but I don't want it to be this hodgepodge of just stuff. I don't know how it's going to look yet. I have to toss that around in my head. And I don't have to do it immediately either. This is going to be probably the fifth city that I'm going to be using. But I think I'm good. I think I've got a pretty good plan here, and I can work with this even if this isn't the most ideal situation. I can make it work. So I'm going to try to go ahead and do this to the whole area, and then show you the ending result. So here goes several more hours of work. I'll be back. Haha! This time I remembered to put uh the night vision potion on beforehand. Haha. Anyway, this is done. Well, for the most part. I mean, I haven't done any of the stuff that I was talking about for making it uniform and developed. Haha, remembered the word. But it is down to one level. There's the different terraces that go all the way around. Different. It's not perfect. Like some places it's one or two thick. Some places it's only one thick. Some places it's three or four thick. I did have the fortune of having a sea temple in my my bay, my harbor. I don't know what to call this. This is my underwater thing. So I I don't really want to be overly cliche and call it Atlantis. I'm going to find a name for it, but for right now it's Atlantis. I'm calling it Atlantis. It's not going to be Atlantis though. But I did come with a sea temple, or it did come with a sea temple. And I learned something. The sea temple does not spawn guardians unless there is water. So this is where it was. It's still the sea temple right here, as is. Well, I did turn it around because the entrance is over that way, and that didn't really work out for me. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with this. This might be another administrative center. I I I don't know. There's a couple other things, like for instance, remnants of these Forerunner tunnels. I'm probably just going to cap them off. There is a spider spawner over there. Let's see here. Follow this around. I don't remember exactly. Aha. This is a bunch of barrier blocks. This dumps out. Oh, I missed that. Hold on. Let's do this. Slash GMSP. Slash fix water 5. And slash GMC. There we go. This bothered me. But these are barrier blocks that mark off the area that is where I'm working and the rest of the world. Now I'm going to make a sort of tunnel system or ramp or roadway or whatever that will lead out so that it will connect to whatever's going to be happening out there in the larger, vaster ocean. This is what it looks like as a whole. Lots and lots of mob spawning. But, oh, I'll get to that in a minute. The top tier, I have decided I'm perfectly fine with it having the splashes of dirt and ores and that sort of thing. It's fine. The next tier, I have been running around with a few ideas in my head on how I want it to look, and then the insets are going to be sort of like hints that they go farther back, but it's just going to be just a, what's the term for that? A fresco? Like a raised fresco or inset or something like that, where it gives the impression of more three-dimensional depth than it really is, and make it look like there are buildings like behind columns and roads and things back there. But then there's going to be a much more uniform thing down here. I've been really tossing around some ideas, and I'm liking the idea of having some sandstone and the prismarine stuff. Like, particularly, I like this dark prismarine, but have all of that be a set distinct pattern that I can just use all the way around, and make it sort of a zigzaggy thing too. So it's not just stripe all the way around. That I don't want it to be that, but I do want it to be distinct from everything else, and I want that to be distinct from everything else, and then I want that to be distinct from everything else. I've decided I'm not going to smooth it. I'm going to leave it as the different terraces, and then have the floor down here to be developed as needed for the Refugee to Regent city building. Now, I do have a little bit of a height limit for the city building. It goes like, hold on, why am I flying? Why not Elytra? Because that's way faster than flying, embarrassingly enough. Ah, I'm stuck. The very top block here of the temple is in the barriers. So what I had to do is, let's do this. Boop. What I had to do is surround it with barriers so that someone didn't just come through and go dig, 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 dig. Oh, I'm hoping that I don't have to worry about that. If I do encounter a problem with that, then at least I know what it looks like. I'm gonna get rid of that so you don't see all the barriers. That is cool looking though. But I've got the top of the sea temple right there under the water, and that means that this right here, where I'm bonking my head, is the limit to where I can build. It's a lot to work with, to be sure, but some of my things can get a little much. So I have this little area here so I wasn't being pestered by the local denizens of death. And I was coming up with some of the different ideas that I was going to use for making a kelp forest. So obviously, if you have sugarcane tall enough, it looks way unnatural for Minecraft, and so clearly that can be used to have the kelp forest thing, and I might cap it off with like yellow carpet or something like that. But it's going to be in little patches, and there might be some stones near it. There will be some gravel or something at the base of these vines, and these vines are placed on, once again, barrier blocks so that I can have the vines cheated, sort of. And this is just for decoration. This is, I'm just going to treat this as terrain. I'm not even going to be harvesting these. These are just going to be placed just to add a little appearance. And then I have just leaves waving around to make them look like kelp, and I may actually make them a bit taller in some places. But these are just a few of the ideas I was messing around with to make an underwater kelp forest. Now, another thing I was thinking of, and this is really cool, let's get some stone, and let's get some granite, and do something maybe a little bit like that. And then let's just do this. And then let's do that one. And then come down over here maybe and place another one there and there and some there, and just put in a little bit of turbulence around it. And then, oh well, that looks like too much, and so does, I'll take that one out. Then come up here and go replace near, let's say 10 stone air. Boop. And there. And do something like that. And it looks like bubbles going up from like a gas vent, like a volcanic vent from the ocean floor. Is that not the coolest thing? And it really does look like bubbles when you get, well, Minecraft bubbles anyway, when you get far enough away, and just not overdo it, just have little patches of those every once in a while. It will add so much to the atmosphere and make it feel like you're in some sort of underwater thing. And then I'm going to be adding like some giant sculptures of fish and maybe a shark or something up above. So I have some really cool plans for down here. That's right. There's going to be slime chunks. Yay! I forgot. Oh, another thing. I was thinking. Where is it? I was thinking, is because. Oh my God, that's a lot of spawns. I didn't think it was supposed to be that many. Oh, it's per type. That's right. Uh, Another thing that I was remembering is if I just go ahead and start putting some water in here, there can be some guardians. So what I could do is have like a guardian killing area in this as part of something that someone can do. Ooh, cave noise. So as long as I get some water and a safe enclosure, people can come in and kill guardians. That'll be neat. Uh, but let's see here. Oh, speaking of sculptures of like fish. I also have a new addition near spawn that you might be interested in seeing. And I'll just stand here for my slash back area. Let's go to spawn. Alright, here at spawn, some of the faces on the wall of friends have changed. Uh-oh, a head is gone. Gone or unloaded? I don't know. But the new addition, it is a sculpture. I put up a dragon. I made a dragon, my own little design for a dragon, and since you can't see the spikes on top, these are supposed to be the spine spike things that go the length of it, but because I have this block powered, the head is going waka waka waka. So from down there, what you see is that. I really like it. I think it looks pretty neat. But then again, I am biased since I built the thing. But there we go. That's the newest edition. I'm probably going to be putting these in random locations along the quest line road. That way, if people do manage to look up, instead of seeing these, which I still need to get rid of, maybe I'll do that next. Instead of seeing these in their sky, they'll look around and go, "Ah, there's another dragon." Hopefully, they'll see him. Oh, from this distance, the head vanishes, but that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, that's one of the many things that I've been doing lately. But I need to get back to work so I can get some wall, some marking around my desert, so it's clear that that's my area. So I don't have to worry about this because it never occurred to me that someone would come and park right next to me. And now there are two, and I'm sandwiched in. So I'm going to get back to work doing that. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. I do like to hear from you. If you like this video, do please give a like. I appreciate it, and it does help. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. I have lots more planned, and it's always something new. So, look forward to all these wonderful changes, including there will be shops here soon, I promise. But I'm going to go and let you go. Thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night on the Refuge, and I will talk to you later.